Well, hi there, and welcome to our Sunday Song Time. Yes, and I have a newer song for you, and I have my newer guitar. Yes, my 12-string guitar. I should give a quick shout out here. First of all, I bought it at a place called Guitar Corner in downtown Kitchener. Yeah, really nice guy that I bought that from. And then I took it to my old buddy Mike at Sherwood Music in downtown Kitchener. Mike is a luthier. One of those people that tinkers with guitars. And so he set it all up for me, got the strings down nice and close to the fretboard. Put on some new strings so it sounds really nice. And now, any of you that have played a 12-string guitar, though, these are so hard to keep in tune. And I went and put a capo on it. That ruins everything. So I think I have most of them. Maybe 11 out of the 12, they're in tune. Close enough for me. Okay. Now this song, well, our usual worship leader, Kevin, he and his wife Diane, they lead our worship at our little church, and they were on vacation this weekend. So I led the worship here on this Sunday, and Kevin does this song a lot better than I do, but I wanted to do this one for a couple of different reasons. Now, for you guitar players out there, though, one of the reasons you might appreciate this one, I just like the chord progression that Cody Carnes has come up with. It's one of my favorite progressions. It goes from a G to an A minor 7, and then an E minor 7. So it just sounds, I just like that chord progression, and I keep my little pinky on here unless I get really messed up, and then I take it off. But anyway. So the song is called Run to the Father. And by the way, I'm going to share after the song just a couple of stories from Luke chapter 15 in the Bible. Now Luke chapter 15, that's like one of the best chapters in the whole Bible that you can read. I know I say that about every one of them. But you know what? If you read Luke chapter 15, you will find yourself somewhere in those stories that Jesus told. Yep, you're in there. And you're a different character possibly at different times in your life and with different people. But Luke 15, I'll share a bit of that. But first, this song from Cody Carnes, Run to the Father. I've carried a burden for too long on my own. I wasn't created to bear it alone. I hear your invitation to let it all go. I see it now, I'm laying it down. And I know that I need you. So I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh. You saw my condition, had a plan from the start. Your Son for redemption, the price for my heart. I don't have a context for that kind of love. I don't understand, I can't comprehend. All I know is I need you. So I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, oh. again and again, again and again. Oh, 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 oh. My heart has been in your sights long before my first breath, running into your arms is running to life from death. I feel this rush deep in my chest. Your mercy is calling out. Just as I am, you pull me in, and I know I need you now. So I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again, and again and again. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart found a surgeon, my soul found a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again, and again and again. Oh, 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 again and again. Again and again, yeah. Run to the Father. That's what somebody did, in Luke chapter 15. I was mentioning that earlier. And that's where we find the story of what we call the prodigal son. And that word prodigal just means somebody that's just extravagant. Although he was extravagant in the wrong way, right? Remember, he bugged his father. I want my inheritance now. I'm not waiting until you die. I got a life to live. And so his father gave him that inheritance, and off he went, squandered all of his money. And now the reason Jesus told this story, and I should back up a little bit, because we call this the parable of the prodigal or the lost son. It's actually the parable of the older brother. Huh? Well, way back at the beginning of Luke 15, it says there that the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus. But the Pharisees and teachers of the law, in other words, the religious police, right? They said, hey, hold on. This man welcomes sinners and eats with them. And then Jesus told a few stories. And he told stories to demonstrate that, yes, as a matter of fact, I do welcome sinners. By the way, that's all he's got to work with. Anyway, but then he tells these stories, and he told that parable, and we know these stories. In this case, God is actually a shepherd. And there's like 99 sheep that he has, and he realizes, hold on, I have 100 sheep. There's one lost. So off he goes to find that lost sheep. And then when he comes home, he calls his friends and his neighbors together, and he says, rejoice with me, I found my lost sheep. And he says, I tell you the truth, in the same way, there'll be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. So you might be in that position where it's like, no, I'm okay, things are fine with me and God. Or you might be, I wouldn't mind the shepherd coming to get me, putting me on his shoulders and carrying me home. You might be one of those lost ones. And possibly, I get in trouble when I tell people this, but you see, in that first parable Jesus told, God is a shepherd. In the second parable, he told, God is a woman. Yes, God is this woman who had 10 silver coins and lost one. She loses one of these coins, probably off of a headdress of some kind. This might have even been like a dowry or something, like she wants to get married, so she has this is very valuable. And suddenly, she loses one of the coins off of this headdress. Well, Jesus said, doesn't she light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, yes, she calls her friends and neighbors together. Hey, I found my lost coin. Come, rejoice with me. And then the angels of God rejoice as well. And then he tells the parable of that lost son. But he starts it by saying there was a man who had 2 sons. So remember that, and you probably know this story. Maybe you heard it in Sunday school, right? But off he goes. Off this son goes with his father's inheritance, squanders his money on wild living. Finally, he goes broke, and all his friends are gone. Hey, listen, there's a lesson right there. And he finds himself feeding pigs. That was the only job he could get. For a Jewish person, this was probably the most humiliating thing you could ever imagine doing, feeding pigs. And he saw the pods that the pigs were eating. They were eating pig slop, right? And he thought, man, that looks pretty tasty to me right now. Can you imagine? But then he says this, Jesus said when he came to his senses, he came to his senses, he said, well, listen, my father has all kinds of hired hands. They're doing really well. I'm going to go back to my father. I'm going to just say to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Just make me like one of your hired servants, So he got up and went to his father. Now, here's the great thing. Because this song that I just sang for you calls Run to the Father, right? But you know the story. When this man was a long way off down the road, his father is there going, hey, that looks like my son. And suddenly the father goes running after him, throws his arms around him. And, you think about God now in this case is this rich father. Well, we don't think of, for instance, a king, for instance, doesn't run anywhere, right? They've got servants to carry him around. But here he goes. We have a God who runs after us. Yes, he runs. How undignified that is. And, of course, he throws the robe on him, puts the ring on his finger, says, hey, let's have a big party. Now, that second son, this man's brother, he goes, wait a second, I hear a party going on in Dad's house. What's going on? Oh, well, your son's come home. And what? I have served this man my whole life. And this is the thanks I get? Watching this useless brother of mine being treated like a king? And the father says, my son, you're always with me. Everything I have is yours. Some of us live in such a way where, I dare not ask God for anything. No, he says, everything I have is yours, but we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He is lost and is found. And this man had said, hey, that son of yours. He said, no, he's your brother. And Jesus told that story. Well, you go way back to the first verse of Luke 15. First and second verses there because the religious leaders, wait a second, he's hanging out with the wrong crowd. No, he came for that crowd, came for you. Now, in some cases, maybe you're lost. Let me encourage you. Come, run to the Father. You may be in a place where, I've got a friend who's lost, and so I'm gonna go look for them and help them come back to God. Maybe you're like one of those ultra-religious people, and maybe you got to humble yourself a little bit and recognize that, who am I without God? I'm a sinner too. And I tell you, there's more rejoicing among the angels of heaven over one sinner who repents. Hey, why don't you be that one? I don't know, just thought I'd ask. But anyway, Luke 15. Have a look at that chapter. Like I say, you're in there somewhere. Either as someone who needs forgiveness or someone who has to forgive. That's hard. Find yourself there. And if you need to, run to the Father because he'll run towards you. In fact, if there's 1,000 steps you have to take between you and God, he's already taken 999. Take that one step towards him. And may God bless you on this Sunday.